Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, hard work, work. There you go.
Forward!
Hard work, hard work, hard work.
Fall in. Hey, what's good? What's good with y'all? What's going on, fam? It's your boy Trey, and welcome to E2G Sports Network presents First Formation Morning Sports Talk. So come on and fall in with us this morning as we talk about what's going on over the course of the last 24 hours since we last spoke in or around sports, and of course anything else that comes up within that time frame. So I hope y'all all are enjoying your holidays, as I know they're getting closer to the end. Still got a whole nother week before you can basically say we're in a whole nother year, uh, and a lot still to go on in sports. NBA action, NCAA is kicking in and starting to move up and do their thing. NFL is coming closer and closer to the end with the postseason. Same thing when you talk about the bowl games. Looking forward to fights coming up in the next year. Baseball is back as arbitrations have went on. People switch teams and jumping off and doing different things. So it's a whole different type of vibe. But in any case, sports has a certain thing about itself. It can bring people together. People who don't even watch sports or follow sports still have the ability and tend to have favorite teams uh, and grasp that whole thing when it comes to the togetherness of a team doing their thing and just celebrating victory or defeats in case of however it goes. So a very, in my opinion, a very powerful vehicle in the name of sports. So of course, not to hold off anything too much longer. Um, Last night, of course, we talked about it briefly. Had a mention a just one game, of course. Let me go back. Mhm. One game yesterday. On the Monday, of course. Like we said, we talked about New Mexico State first off against Bowling Green in what was the Quick Lane Bowl, in which in-state New Mexico State was victorious, winning 24-19 to get another bowl win. Um, got a couple of games that are due to take place tomorrow. Correction, I might put pause at. Actually today that I thought there's a couple of games that's going to be going on today. Georgia Southern and Buffalo State will face off. Buffalo face off in the Camellia Bowl. Memphis and Utah State will do battle in the Serve Pro First Responders Bowl today about 2:15. Coastal Carolina and East Carolina will be facing off with Ticket Smart Birmingham Bowl, and lastly, Wisconsin and Oklahoma State will battle in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. As we start to get deeper into the season, you'll probably start to see, the bowl season, you'll start to see some of the names, top division schools that are going to be playing one another. So of course we have, like I said, that slate of those four bowl games going on today, Tuesday, the 28th, correction, the 27th. Um, so just tap in, watch your bowl. If you're just someone that loves watching sports, hey, you know where it is and where it's going down. Of course, you can find those on ESPN or your local TV stations. Um, Moving on, right? So we had a conversation yesterday. If you was watching, tuning in, there was a couple of we talked about the five games that took place on during Christmas. Of course, the Lakers played against the Mavericks, the Knicks, um, correction, Boston and Milwaukee, um, Denver and Phoenix, Golden State and Memphis, and the Knicks is escapes my mind who they played. Actually, I can find out. Oh, of course, the Knicks and the 76ers took place. All pretty good games for the most part. Uh, Last night there was a slate of games that were played uh, that I wasn't paying attention. I know yesterday Bishop spoke about it briefly, in which he talked about how Golden State, not Golden State, how the Nuggets, how the Nets was doing, in which ultimately, well, when I get to them, I get to them, I guess. So first and foremost, of course, you had the Kings, Domantas Sabonis, uh, is currently out. We don't know how long, as he has a UCL tear. As we know, Sabonis has been a key cog in the detriment, the dominance of what is the Sacramento Kings currently. As the Sacramento Kings is a top team in the West, and basically their productivity has been up. And of course, I guess when you look at it according to other times and different times in the past in which they haven't been too far formidable. 17 years, so I think a 17-year drought since they made the playoffs. Of course, right now they're looking pretty good. They're only six. They're currently a 6 seed, and they're currently a half a game back from the fourth seed, which in terms in the West puts them, I think, about 2.5 games or 4 games, 2.5 to 4 games behind Denver as the first seed. So in any case, they're in very good standings. But like I said, he has a fracture in which can be detrimental. It's on his thumb, on his non-shooting hand. So it's a possibility that he could end up playing through that injury. They might just club it or wrap it up, tape it up, and have him go back out there. Of course, it's going to be he's going to be dependent upon. I'm very sure he's going to be the one to depend if he can go or not. Once the doctors take a look at it, it's going to be based upon his own threshold of pain. In any case, you never really want to. Me personally, I always take a look at and think about those things when we're doing that. To where it's like, do you or do you want to be risk like what is the limit in which an individual will go through or wouldn't go through in order to hold off on getting better? Like we all know that we want our team. If you're a star on a team, you want your team to be, um, you want to be able to contribute and want to ensure that your team, especially if you're one of the best players on the team, you want to make sure that the team isn't going to uh, having hardships or facing hardships because you're down. And if you're able to play, then do you play? I've always wondered if that's the case. Like I said, talk about, I'm not a professional or wasn't a professional in that standpoint, but for the most part, on some of my teams, I was probably one of the better players, if not the best player. And so the play through injuries is one thing. Like I said, my I guess you could say claim to fame would have been I had to two actually. One is playing with a with the bruised ribs, which extremely painful. But I went ahead and attempted to play with it, and it was a hindrance. It really was. It was a hindrance. It was more of a problem than anything, and Uh, I wasn't productive. I think it was more the simple fact of some people not knowing that I was injured, so that those who had already played against me or had watched me play, so it's like, okay, he's out there, and that was I guess, a decoy. And even as the point as a decoy, I wasn't really effective. And then, of course, the other time is when I had pulled a hamstring, in which it was just by the grace that the game in which I pulled it in, there was a playoff game, so we didn't play a game, or there was a rain out or something like that. So it extended and gave an opportunity 2 or 3 weeks, and so I was able to recover a little bit. And by the time I came back, um, I played one game, didn't have to go too hard. And then the second game, I was a little better and was able to play at the better potential, and it was better. It was a better situation. So I guess you could say I kind of like dodged the bullet in a sense. Excuse me, hold on. I dodged a bullet in a sense when it came down to that aspect, because my injury didn't really affect my team, but in these injuries that affect team, of course, when you're a professional, any injury which you happen can be detrimental. And it doesn't take a time to sit up and go through and do a couple of things. It really comes down to if your team can weather the storm while you're out. Take into consideration the Los Angeles Lakers, who currently are without Anthony Davis. They're on a 4-game losing skid with Anthony Davis out the lineup. He's a detriment. LeBron just said it the other night, they sorely miss Anthony Davis. And so when you look at that, Anthony Davis isn't in a position where he can play through the injury. Sabonis, when he goes out, he's out, or he could potentially be out. Do you waiver on start the caution and sit out? We just talked about yesterday, Jalen Hurts being out with his shoulder injury. Did him not playing basically hinder the Philadelphia Eagles from not securing the playoff, the locking up the number 1 seed in the division championship in Dallas when they played against Dallas? Could Dallas had been victorious if Jalen Hurts had played? Like either one, like any of those conversations, we don't know, but it's a possibility. So it's like, does the having an injury and playing through the injury help your team in the long run, or is that just for the now? So that's all just something I tend to sit up and think about and come across my mind when I see the players that are even one talking about playing when they have certain injuries or sitting back or work case like that. I guess it's just depending upon what they have going on. But in case like to get into it, there was a 7-game slate last night. 7 games played across the NBA. One of them, of course, the Clippers and the Pistons, in which crazy how it's going down. Like the Pistons are basically the last team and the worst team in the NBA right now. So with that being said, it's not like the days of old when the worst team would get the top pick, just like they do in the NFL. So of course we know the worst pick gets more of a weighted system, and they get more balls in the system when it comes down to the draft, the lottery. So they played last night. At some point they was up, they were down, fought back and got back into the game. End up going up 14 points left in the last 3 minutes of this game, of course. But you would think basically game over. It's a wrap. Even Tyronn Lue, the head coach for the Los Angeles Clippers, decided to take out his top players, his starters. I've done that before to where I had starters in, I removed them. Like things ain't going well. It's like, let's get someone else some time. So Tyronn Lue goes and does that. He removes his starters. In removing his starters, it excuse me, in that 3 minutes left in the game, down 14. I guess you could say he was maybe conceding. I don't know, or maybe did he feel like he just needed some fresh blood. In any case, the move was the legit move in which the starters got the comeback, closed the deficit, and even put it into where the game goes into overtime. Of course, that reinvigorates the offense. The starters go back in and end up getting the win, winning 142 to 139 over the Detroit Pistons. With that loss, the Detroit Pistons fall to 8-28 on the season. The Clippers improved to 20-15 in their continued efforts to get into the playoffs and go to a championship. The Clippers was led by Paul George's 32 points, 4 rebounds, 11 assists. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist from Luke Kennard, 16 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists from John Wall, 16 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist from Marcus Morris. Senior Ezekiel Zubac contributed with a double-double, 12 points, 15 rebounds, 7.6 rebounds from Nicholas Batum, as he was a part of that crew that got the comeback. Reggie Jackson, 14.6 points from Terrence Mann, who actually hit the game-tying shot to send them into overtime. 3 points from Moses Brown, and Amir Coffey with 2 points, in which the only Those 5 points was very, very integral because they only played them 3 minutes within the time frame in which they was down, and they contribute 3 points, 3 rebounds, 3 points on correction, 5 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist within that 3 minute span. That actually helped them to get back to tying the game to send the game into overtime. So small victories in any case. 5 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist was would have missed 1 point in that, they would have lost the game. For the Pistons, of course, like they're out without Kay Cunningham as he is out for the season. Isaiah Smart, I mean, correction, Bonjon Bogdanovich, 23 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. I spot Isaiah Stewart, 21 points, 7 rebounds, 11 assists. 18 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists from Killian Hayes. 15 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists from Jaden Ivey. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists from Alec Burke. Basically, the whole squad, double figures. It was a battle. It just came up short. Diallo, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. 13.6 rebounds, 1 assist from Sadiq Bey. But they just came up short, just barely short in that time frame. They battled, in which you want to see that in your team. Even in losing efforts, you want to see a continuous battle. Even in this day and age, you don't want it to be a situation. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. You don't want to be at the situation to where there's no your team has no fight, and it just looks like they're tanking. Hey, what's good morning, Alita? How you doing, sis? Glad to see the information this morning. Um, so in any case, you don't want to see that at all. Um, Interesting enough, like the NBA has stats galore. Actually, all of the major sports have stats galore because there's a system that records sports stats in every aspect. There's so many different aspects. It's crazy. I did a class and got a certification one time, and in that I was looking at the symmetry or synergy, which is one of the stat keeping programs. And it is so many things in which you can find out and filter to get stats for in the league. So in this particular case, this particular stat is what teams records are within a certain amount. So down by 14 points or more with 3 minutes remaining in the game since the beginning of the play-by-play era, starting back in 1996. The team NBA teams are 2 and 12,873 in that time frame. The Clippers in that time frame prior to last night were 0 and 417. The only two teams prior to that had won were the Atlanta Hawks back in 1997 versus the Orlando Magic and the Sacramento Kings in 2020 against the Timberwolves. Since that last time in 2020, which is the Sacramento Kings last one, that particular scenario had happened a total of 1,467 times. So prior to that, every team in the NBA that was down by 14 points or more with 3 minutes remaining had lost 1,467 times until last night. Reset that clock. The Clippers now own the last time a team was down by 14 points in under 3 minutes. Hey, it happens to the best of us. You never know when it's going to happen. Um, Additional other games last night. Uh, the Minnesota Timberwolves were hosted by the the Miami Heat. It was Miami got the victory, winning 113 to 110, getting that back to 500 on the year. Timberwolves dropped to 16-18, just 2 games below 500. They were led by Anthony Edwards, 29 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. 21 points from Last Reed, as he had 11 rebounds to go along with it. 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists from Jaden McDaniels. 13 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists from D'Angelo Russell. 10 points from Austin Rivers. Additionally, 10 points from Rudy Gobert, 8 rebounds to go along with that. Jaden McDaniels, 16 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. The Heat's leading scorer, 19 points from Max Strus, 3 rebounds and no assists. 15 points 4 assists, 9 rebounds from Orlando Robinson. Tyler Hero contributed 14 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists from Kyle Lowry. Caleb Martin, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 11 points, 2 rebounds from Gabe Vincent. Victor Oladipo with 7 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 19 minutes play. Haywood Highsmith, 3 points, 1 assist, and 2 rebounds. And Nikola Jokic, 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 19 minutes of play. Also, Duncan Robinson contributed with 9 points and 4 rebounds in that win. Of course, Jimmy Butler still out currently. No Bam Adebayo either. But of course, you want to be able to for your team to get the W's, get string along wins when your top players or key players are not available. Additionally, the Houston Rockets faced off, coming out of Chi-Town, faced off against the Chicago Bulls, in which the Rockets gets a W. They may be young, but they ready. Winning 133 to 118. Rockets improved to 10-23 on the year. The Bulls fall to 14-19 on their year. I'm very sure that's heating up with the talks, as there's been conversations, particularly on Lakers sports chat rooms and on the Laker wires, if the Lakers are willing to part with them picks to be able to get with them picks, as well as the player, of course, Russell Wilson in case, to bring Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan home, basically being or back to the West Coast for the most part. DeMar from California and Zach from Washington. But in any case, the Bulls leading scorer, DeMar DeRozan, 31 points, 5 rebounds, 9 assists, just 1 assist short of a triple-double. 22 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists from Zach LaVine. 14 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists from Kobe White. 12 points from Goran Dragic. Nikola Vucevic, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Patrick Williams, 12.7 rebounds, 2 assists. Demonsu, 9 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Andre Drummond, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists. And Dalen Terry, 1 rebound in his contribution in that loss. The Rockets, 6 players in double figures. The leading player, Kevin Porter Jr., 36 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists. 25 points from Alperen Sengun with 11 rebounds, 6 assists to go along with that. 24 from Jalen Green, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. 12 points from Eric Gordon. Jabari Smith Jr. contributed 13 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists. Tari Henson, 9 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. 1 point for Fernando, and 3 points from Usman Garuba. So, of course, Anthony, I'm not blowing you off. I hear you to say the Lakers just need to rebuild fresh next year. What's good, Jonathan? What's going on, fam? Glad to have your information with us this morning. What's good with you, bro? So, going back to Anthony, what you were saying, the Lakers are on timeline. We all know this. LeBron is signed for additional 2 years, additional 2-year extension. So, I mean, it's not next year. Rebuilding next year isn't the question, isn't the answer. And it goes back to a good point, Anthony. Again, is everything win now, or is it build for your future? LeBron isn't a build for your future move. Wasn't a build for your future move, in my opinion. It was more of a win now situation. So now what's going on is the Lakers. What they've usually predicated on is picking up a player that bridges the gap for the win now and future until they get to that point again. We're not with that. I guess that's what the outcome was supposed to be for Anthony Davis. He's fragile, not in the sense of like real fragile, but he's injury prone. So you have that situation. Maybe we thought Russell Westbrook was going to be that gap as well, and that's not what we had. The last time we had that, of course, was Kobe Bryant. I mean, not Kobe Bryant. Was LeBron James. We don't have players currently that are those gap fillers for the now, and the future to build on. Well, maybe one. Lonnie, I think Lonnie Walker Jr. Lonnie Walker could be one. What's good, Shay? What's good, fam? What's going on, fam? Glad to have you with us this morning. So I don't think that's one of the formation. I mean, I don't think that's one of the we don't have that player right now. It's still a search. You know what I'm saying? That's the moniker for the Lakers. Get top notch veterans and players and build and draft players that can build to will lead to the next season. When we look at it, I hadn't thought about it, but I don't think when was the last time the Lakers drafted someone that was looking toward building the future? They hadn't. They didn't even draft Kobe. They didn't draft Kobe. Kobe was a trade. They didn't draft Kobe, and that was one of the ones before. After that, we've drafted the Andrew Russell. He's gone. Larry Nance Jr. He's gone. Brandon Ingram. He's gone. Lonzo Ball. He's gone. Julius Randle. He's gone. Avika Zubac, he's gone. Like all these players the Lakers had drafted have gone on to be great or do good things. But other teams that we drafted and going on to become good players, that's the case with. But I don't want to make this a Laker thing because they didn't even play last night, so I don't want to do too much talking. But to answer your question, Anthony. Lakers not in the window, so trade or cut to build the future. I'm sure you can get draft picks, not good picks, but something. It's the Lakers. You got to be, and then I mean, at this point, Pelinka is all on him. He's the GM and the president of basketball. It's all on him. And Jeannie has came out and said publicly that it falls on her at the end of the day. So she ain't gonna fire herself. Rob need to get it right, or Rob got to go. Like Jonathan was just saying, Rob Pelinka has to go. And it might be that, like the last time we was popping and was Magic was in the front office. Things ain't go right between him and Rob, presumably. Magic bounces. Rob takes over both positions, and now we're at. It's clear and concise that it's not too many players in any sport to where if you hold both positions, it really goes well because there's no one to balance. That's like you holding the credit card holder, you do all the purchasing, you approve the charges, and you buy. You're like, you know what I'm saying? That does no good. There's no checks and balance. There's nothing to sit up and be like, yo, this isn't a good move, or let's sit up and think about this, or give anything else to it when you're to say all, be all, do all on all across all spectrums. And I think that's a detriment right now to the Lakers, having Rob Pelinka to be the basketball operations and the GM. Doesn't always work well. Same thing could go for the Cowboys with Jerry Jones. He's the GM and the owner. He owns all the cards, all the power. It doesn't. I don't. In my opinion, it doesn't. It's not a good. It's not a good chemistry. It's not a good method. But in any case, I digress. Of course, last night, additionally, the Rams, the Utah Jazz, and the San Antonio Spurs had a game as well. Both coming back a little sluggish, of course, as you're coming back from the NBA season. Of course, except for those 10 teams that played. So in this case, the first quarter ended with a total of 19 points in the first quarter after 12 minutes of play. Not ideal when you got two professional teams going, but it happens. Like professional doesn't mean free of mistake. It just means you get paid and you consider a pro. In any case, the Spurs were able to pull out the victory, winning 126-122, improving to 11-22 on the year. The Utah Jazz dropped to 19-17 on the year. The Jazz, led by Lauri Markkanen's 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 1 assist. 25 points from Jordan Clarkson, 7 rebounds and 4 assists to go along with that. 13 points apiece from Malik Bradley and Colin Sexton, 5 rebounds and 2 assists for Bradley. Beasley, 2 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists for Colin. Colin, Vanderbilt, and Kessler contribute with 7 points apiece. 8 points from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Rudy Gay, 4 rebounds. In the loss for the Spurs, they were led by Devin Vassell's 24.6 rebounds and 8 assists. 20 points from Mikal Branham, 2 rebounds and 2 assists to go along with that. 21 points from Keldon Johnson, 3 rebounds, 5 assists. 16 points, 9 rebounds and 2 assists from Yaka Pado. Jeremy Socon, 6 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists. 14 points from Greg McDermott. Stanley Johnson with 3 points. And Bates Diop contributed with 1 point and 1 rebound in his 6 minutes of play in that win. Other games that went on last night, like I said, was a slate of 7. Additionally, the Indiana Pacers fall to the New Orleans Pelicans. I just got to New Orleans last night as that game was ending. The game ended 113 to 93. The Pelicans 21 and 12 on the year. The Indiana Pacers dropped just to 500, not too bad. 500 isn't bad when you look at it in any case, unless you just got a whole lot of heater teams in which they don't anywhere across the NBA, except for maybe Milwaukee and Boston. But the Pelicans getting it done with efficiency. Benedict Mathurin, 15 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. 14 points for 8 rebounds for Miles Turner. Buddy Hield, 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. 12 points, 1 rebound, 6 assists from Tyrese Halliburton. Aaron Nesmith, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. And then, of course, 7 points from Isaiah Jackson, 2 points apiece from Jay McConnell and Osei Brissett, as well as James Johnson. 4 points from Terry Taylor and Goga Blasted with 4 points and 1 rebound. In the loss, the Pelicans were led by Najee Marshall's 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists. 19.7 rebounds, 6 assists from CJ McCollum. 20 points from Jonas Valanciunas. 12 rebounds for his double-double. 5 assists to go along with that. Herman Gomez, 7 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 7 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist from Kyra Lewis. Devontae Graham contributed 11 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. And Jose Alvarado with 8 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists as the New Orleans Pelicans. I think that might have put them back. I have to take a look. It might have put them back as tops in the West. After I get finished looking and go through the rest of these, we'll take a look at that, go over that for 2 games. What did I think I mentioned? Last night, as we talked about earlier in the week, last week, Dame Lillard passed Kyle Drexler for the top scoring Blazer in the franchise history, scoring over 18,000 points with the franchise. In which last night he was honored for that feat before going to and taking care of business, and the Blazers taking care and knocking off the Charlotte Hornets 124 to 113. With that win, the Blazers get back to 18 and 16 on the year. The Charlotte Hornets 9 and 25. The Hornets 22 points from PJ Washington, 6 rebounds and 1 assist. 27 points from LaMelo Ball, 7 rebounds, 7 and 6 to go along with that. 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 assists from Mason Plumlee. 15 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist from Kelly Oubre. 9 points from Marcus Williams. 7 points from Jaden McDaniels. Theo Madelon contributed with 2 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists. Gordon Hayward, 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. Terry Rozier, 7 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists on the night. For the Portland Trail Blazers, Jeremy Grant led the squad, 32 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, double-double. Of course, another double-double for Nusif Nurkic with 28 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 9 assists for Dame Lillard at Dame time on his night in which he was honored. 8 points, 1 rebound from Keenan Johnson What's good, MBB? Good to see the information with us this morning. Congratulations. You ain't win, but you did very well. I think you even thwarted my issues. So I can congratulate you for your first time playing fantasy football. Very good for a first timer. Josh Hart, 11 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists. Greg Brown, not Greg Brown, sorry. Shaden Sharp, 1 rebound. Drew Eubanks, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist. And 2 points, 2 rebounds from Traden Wofford. And of course, lastly from last night, the Brooklyn Nets and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I caught a clip of Donovan Mitchell D'ing up Kyrie Irving, putting the clamps on him. So you would think from that clip that, it was a crazy game, that everything happened that was supposed to happen, and Cleveland took care of business. You got to watch the whole game. Of course, you know that. Didn't take care of business. Cleveland ended up falling to Brooklyn, in which Brooklyn in that game extended their streak. I think it's 10, even 10-1 or 11-1 over over as many games. Having one loss in that span, they're the hot team right now. So of course, yesterday, if you was listening, Bishop got on, was talking about how everything was going and how the Brooklyn team is the hot team. I think the 4th seed currently, of course, when you take a look at it, they're definitely a half a game above the Cleveland Cavaliers with that W. Like I said, 125 to 150, 117. Brooklyn improves to 22-12 on the season. Cleveland Cavaliers dropped to 22-13. But again, that's only 35 games. It's an 82 game season. Still 40 plus games to go. Kevin Durant. Cleveland Cavaliers was led by Darius Garland's 46 points, 3 rebounds, 8 assists. Next closest man up, 15 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists from Donovan Mitchell. Even Mobley contribute 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. C.D. Osman, 11 points, 2 assists, 8 points, 1 rebound for Karis LeVert. Kevin Love, 7 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist. Isaac Oroku with 2 points. Lamar Stevens, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist. Jared Allen's double, 10 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist as well. Of course, it wasn't enough for Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. 32-piece with the biscuit deal. Kyrie, 32 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. Kevin Durant, 32 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. 23 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists from TJ Warren. 10 points, 1 rebound from Watanabe. 4 points from Ed Sumner. Royce Neal, 10 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Nick Claxton as well, 10 points, 4 rebounds, no assists. Ben Simmons, 4 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. They in they bag. What you say, Anthony? Brooklyn better with a different coach, so it was all True Ben Simmons playing good. So is it? Let's talk about that for a second, Anthony. Excuse me. So is it that it was Steve Nash, which was some of the conversation? One of the things in which Jacques Vaughn stated in the as he talked about it earlier was that he's made everything simple. He's like, he basically broke it down. He's like, they stripped away some of the stuff from the playbook and they made everything simple. In some instances, they go and they have free play where they could go out there and run like they're in a 7-on-7 or a 5-on-5 pickup game. Simplicity sometimes work, or sometimes the complexity of doing things gets so far where we get so far away from what was baseline or what worked at some point. As things start to grow, sometimes you got to go back to that. I have a smidge, just a little bit of that to revert back to, because everyone knows from a simplistic point, everyone knows 3-man weave, everyone knows the rotate the ball, you know what I'm saying, jazz step and go, all that type of stuff. So some of that time, sometimes that stuff is simplistic. It's just easy, in which Jacques Vaughn said he made it simple. He's like, I'm a simple man. I'm not trying to do all this other stuff. He said he made the play, but it's simple. They went from a point to where if you that he said he had a point to where he was completely vulnerable to his team and said some things and shared some things. And since that point, they have been victorious. 12 games, 11-1. And sometimes you just got to go back to that. You sit up and look at it, and you be like, you know what? We ain't got to learn the triangle. Let's run motion. Arizona. Uh, so I said one of the things I want to take out and see what's going on in the West, as currently the Nuggets are. So of course the Nuggets are a half a game above the Pelicans for the top team in the West, with the Nuggets being 21-11. Uh, what's going on? What's going on, Sister Intrepid? How you doing? Glad to have your information with us this morning. Hope your day is going well. So of course, the Nuggets half a game lead on the Pelicans, which is crazy how the leads just keep changing in the West. We done had the Phoenix Suns was number one in the West for a little bit. The Grizzlies was number one for a second. The Pelicans have been number one. The Nuggets have been number one. What's good, Dessa? Glad to see you information with us this morning, brother. Glad to have you here. In the East, of course, the Celtics currently have a game and a half lead over the Milwaukee Bucks, who at one point had a game and a half lead over the Celtics. So that's changing back and forth. The Nets creeping on the come up as they're just 2 games out of first place. And like I just said, 10-0 in their last 10 games, 10-1 in the last 11. Cavaliers bring up the rear at number 4. 5 is the 76ers. 6 is the Knicks. Of course, anything after that, particularly goes into the play-in, in which those next 2 teams are the Hawks, the Pacers, the Heat, and the Raptors. The Raptors being the furthest away, with 8 only behind the East, leading Boston Celtics by 8.5 games. The Pistons, if you look at it, dismal 17 games be out of first place. Let me go back and do that for the West. The West, like I said, the Nuggets currently in the lead. Pelicans fall behind them. The Grizzlies 1 game behind them. The Clippers at the 4th spot, 2.5 games behind that, bringing up the rear. The Suns and the Kings being 3.5 games back. If the play-in, the Golden State Warriors have worked themselves back into the play-in at the number 10 spot. And the number 9 spot, the Trailblazers, number 8, the Jazz. At one point, the Trailblazers was a top team in the West. It was a number 1 team. Mind how things have changed. The Jazz at the 8th spot and the Mavericks bringing up at the rear at the 7th. The Mavericks are 4 games out of first place. The Warriors are 6 games out of first place. The worst team in the West, being the Rockets, are 11.5 games out of first place. Los Angeles Lakers currently down with that 4-game losing streak, as they was just behind the Clippers. Just behind the Warriors. Lock and step, currently 8.5 games out of first place, but only 2.5 games out of that number 10 spot. Got to get it back together, Lake Show. Let's make things happen. Got to make something shake. Of course, with that being said, today, correction. Let me go back. Today, a slate 10 games in which we have the Los Angeles Lakers and the Orlando Magic facing off. The 76ers will take on the Washington Wizards. The Rockets will look to see if their misfortunes continue, as they would do battle with the Boston Celtics. The Los Angeles Clippers look to make a move as they play the Toronto Raptors in Toronto. The Indiana Pacers and the Atlanta Hawks will be facing off. The Oklahoma City Thunder will be hosting the San Antonio Spurs. The Memphis Grizzlies try to get things back on track as they will play the Phoenix Suns. The Dallas Mavericks will be hosting the New York Knicks. The Golden State Warriors will be up against the Charlotte Hornets, and the Sacramento Kings look to get the Sabonis back in action to see if he's going to play with that UCL fracture, as the Kings will host the hot streaking in the Western Conference leading Denver Nuggets on the night. Let me see some. Actually, I had a couple of Um, so that's what we have in the NBA. Like I said, plenty of games time to be, plenty more to be played. If you are interested or you do that type of thing, the NBA All Star voting is going on right now. If you want to see your favorite player get into the All Star game, uh, top vote getters is what they need to be. Uh, you have that going on currently. The All Star game this year is in Utah. I don't know if any of y'all who's pulling up, but but you do have the game in Utah. I hear Utah is a beautiful city, a beautiful state. I'm sorry. Salt Lake City is where it's going to be at. So I hear that's a beautiful city. So you have that. That's what's going on. So you can tap into NBA.com if you want to get your vote. As we all know, the voting changes lives and changes things. So if it's that important to you, you can get out there and vote and make that happen. So last night in the NBA in the NFL, there was a game uh, that pitted the ailing and failing Indianapolis Colts against the Los Angeles Chargers. With a W, the Los Angeles Chargers would have been able to punch their ticket to get into the playoffs. The Chargers have not been in the playoff game since 2017 or 18, one of the two. It's been a long time in any case, in which last year, if you paid attention, there was a game that put the Chargers and the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, up against one another. If the Chargers would have won, they would have gotten to the playoffs. If they would have lost, of course, they're out the playoffs. Or if they would have tied, the Chargers and the Raiders could have went to the playoffs. It ended up being the latter, as the Chargers were not able to defeat the Las Vegas Raiders, and they were eliminated from playoff contention in the last game of the season. 2 games, well, at this point for them, 3 games before the same fate was to be faced upon them. Uh, they had an opportunity to right that ship without having to come down to the wire, in which they were victorious as the Los Angeles Chargers get the W, winning 20-3 over the Indianapolis Colts. With that win, the Chargers become 9-6 on the year. Now, currently have a playoff berth, so they're guaranteed to go to the playoffs. It's just a matter of where they're going to be seated currently. We know they're not going to be 1 through 4, so at this point they're playing for the 5th seed, a top 5th seed, which can be dismal because right now the 5th seed is the Baltimore Ravens, who are 10-5. The Chargers 9-6 with the loss, as I said before. The Indianapolis Colts falls to 4-10-1 on the year. In their losing efforts, Nick Foles, 17 for 29, 143 yards, 3 interceptions. Is always going to be a bad situation when you get a lot of turnovers. 3 interceptions in this case was pretty bad. Zach Moss rushed 12 carries for 65 yards. Jordan Wilkins, 1 carry for 4 yards. Nick Foles, 1 carry himself without any positive yards. Jelani Woods, 3 receptions for 43 yards. Michael Pittman Jr., 4 receptions, 39 yards. Alec Pierce, 3 receptions for 26. Paris Campbell, 2 for 19. Deion Jackson, 3 for 9. Zach Moss, 1 for 5. And of course, Mo Ali Cox, their tight end, 1 for 2 on the night. The Chargers, like I said, they got weapons. Herbert has weapons. When he has weapons, he can do damage. Justin Herbert was 24 for 31 with 235 yards passing, 1 interception. Austin Eckler, 18 carries for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns. If you play fantasy, that's some points. So I tell you, that's 12, 18 right there. Joshua Kelly, 9 carries for 33 yards, 5 carries and 1 yard for Justin Herbert. Kalen Allen, 11 receptions, 104 yards receiving. Mike Williams, 4 receptions, 76 yards receiving. That right there, 180 yards, 15 receptions, 180 yards, alone off 2 receivers. Josh Palmer, 2 for 16. Justin Eckler added a little more, four receptions for 12 yards. That's another 5 points, coupled with the other 17. 17 points, 23 points last night for Austin Eckler. Trey McKitty, 1 reception, 10 yards. Joshua Kelly, 1 for 9. And Donald Parham, 1 for 8. Which contribute to basically the Chargers being able to punch their ticket to getting into the playoffs, which gives them, of course, the only way you can potentially go to the Super Bowl is first getting into the playoffs. That was the first feat in that for them in that case. Now they are looking at potentially being the 5th seed going into the last 2 weeks of the season. Of course, game week 17 is January, starts on January. Correction. Week 17 actually starts on the 29th with the Thursday night game with the Dallas Cowboys facing off against the Tennessee Titans. With that game, of course, Dallas continues to have an opportunity to punch their ticket to get be division champions as they continue to chase the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, if Dallas loses that game, then the Eagles, I believe, automatically become division champions. But if they win that game, they continue to apply pressure. All the Eagles have to do is even one win versus the New Orleans Saints or lose. Of course, if they lose, that puts it in jeopardy for them. If they win, then they continue to have an opportunity coming down to the last game of the season to where they will play the New York Giants for what could presumably be a make or break for them going into as far as the regular seasons. They're already good and solidified in the playoffs. Of course, like I was saying, though, following that, correction, the 30th, following that on the Sunday, January 1st is the new year, in which it's a full slate, a total of 15 games, 14 games that day. And then, of course, the second follows up with the Monday night game. Before the week after that, all 16 games are going to be played on Sunday night as they get ready to close out the NFL season, getting ready for the postseason. Let me see. Let me go back. So looking at this, right, we thought and had a conversation. I wish Bishop was here right now because I want him to witness this and hear this so I can hear his man. That's some all the talking which he's going to say. But in any case, we have been away for a couple of weeks here and there, so we wasn't able to go in and talk about and give talk about or do a quick talk in reference to the NFL pro rankings or whatever case like that, power rankings, right? So of course we go through both factions, I guess you could say, ESPN.com, NFL.com, as we go through and talk about and look at what their ranking system is or what their ranks are for the teams. So at one point, Houston was the bottom feeder. Chicago, Houston have been but at the bottom of that list for the most part. Interestingly enough, in ESPN, there's a new bottom feeder, I guess you could say. Maybe I don't know if that's politically correct, but there's a new team on the bottom. In this case, it's the 32nd ranked Denver Broncos. If you wasn't paying attention yesterday, the Denver Broncos fired coach Daniel Hackett after just 15 games as a head coach. Daniel Hackett came over from the offensive coordinator from the Green Bay Packers. It was picking or the chosen one to take the Denver Broncos to the next level. They went and got more help as the Broncos have had problems trying to find a quarterback since winning the Super Bowl and having Peyton Manning at the helm. Enter Russell Wilson, two-time NFL Super Bowl quarterback, one-time Super Bowl champion. They bring him in, send some very nice pieces over to Seattle for him, in which it seems like it didn't work. Is it Russell was the issue? At this point, what it seems like is they're saying Daniel Hackett was the issue as they released Daniel Hackett, firing him yesterday after 15 games. He's the fastest quarterback to be fired in the current era for the Denver Broncos. Of course, Josh McDaniels, currently the head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders, was fired not last year, a couple of years back from the Denver organization after just 1 year. He was fired with 4 games remaining in his second stint with the team. His second year with the team, in which they were 3-9 at the time. So, but yes, the 32nd team, Denver Broncos, now at the bottom. The Houston Texans, with just 2 wins, are number 31. The Arizona Cardinals come in at number 30, and this is ESPN. The Chicago Bears bring up the rear at number 29. At 28, the Indianapolis Colts, who fired head coach Frank Wright after he's been there for about 3 or 4 years. Jeff Saturday was given the opportunity as an interim, currently 1-4 in that practice. So you can almost assure that the Colts are going to have to go through a hiring process. The Atlanta Falcons come in at number 27. At number 26, the Cleveland Browns bring up 3 year. Once I thought they had an opportunity to make a play. As we know, Deshaun Watson came back 2 weeks ago, in which he's 1-2. Correction, I think he came back 3 weeks ago, in which he's 1-2 on the year since he's been back. At that point, I thought he would have had an opportunity to make a difference and bring them back from the obscurity in which they're losing. He said Saturday. Is it what's good, Coach Coach Fest? What's going on? Let's take a look at some of your stuff. I know, the NNBT is coming up. National Military Basketball Tournament is coming up. I see the events you got going on. This military basketball is at the general is up and coming back. So I look forward to getting y'all on here. You yourself, Commissioner Myers, as well as the Military Basketball Association, has everything going on, has events going on. It's that time again. The military, the armed forces athlete, live in effect. But of course, good luck to all the stuff and what you got going on. I hope to get up to even to get over to Fort Hood to check out the Founding Warriors hosting that joint, or to come up to San Antonio to catch the tournament for the national basketball. So either or, I'm going to be at. I know that for a fact. So I either be in San Antonio or Fort Hood, one of the two. So I'll be pulling it up. Additionally, continue on Cleveland Browns. Oh, also Coach Richardson. Congratulations to the New Orleans. They got with their win last week. Cleveland Browns putting it up at number 26. At number 25, the Los Angeles Rams. Oddly enough, 2-1 with Baker Mayfield at the helm. 2-1. I still stand on my word. Like I said, Cooper Kupp is going to suffer if Baker Mayfield remains the quarterback. Just my opinion. Las Vegas Raiders come in at number 24 with 6-9. The New Orleans Saints, aforementioned, come in at number 23. At number 22, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady looking at trying to extend the Buccaneers season with trying to solidify a spot in the playoffs. It's not looking too good for him right now. If a loss will put them underneath the Carolina Panthers, being I think the Panthers play Tampa Bay this week. So that's all it needs is one. Magic number is 1 for a lot of teams. Still kicking. We may be on, but I got you. I see you. Just talking about it now. Tampa Bay, New Orleans, Carolina. Like someone is getting kind of tight. It's getting real tight in that division. Uh, Carolina Panthers, as I just mentioned, they're currently number 21 in the ESPN. Power ranking. Like I said, going hard. Carolina in succession. Carolina 21, Tampa Bay 22, and New Orleans 23. All in the same division. All with the possibility of having the opportunity to go to extend, getting to the playoffs. With as the NFC South champion, we'll see how it goes. At number 20, New England Patriots are 7-8. Tennessee Titans coming in at number 19. The Pittsburgh Steelers. People kick dirt on the steel curtain. Everyone was talking about how it was over for Mike Tomlin and his current record of 15 consecutive seasons without a losing record. Everyone just still thought it was over. But yet here we are, 2 games remaining in the season, and Mike Tomlin possibly can make it happen to where he can become extend that that current streak of 16. All he needs is 2 wins. I don't know. I think y'all might be good. I mean, Jalen, y'all might get, if you get Jalen, even if you get Gardner, saying Coach Richardson, even if you get Gardner, y'all might be good. But y'all might, I don't know. If the defense shows up, if y'all step up to the competition, then I think y'all have a chance, regardless of who's at quarterback, whether it's Jalen or whether it's Gardner. I think y'all have a chance. I'm pulling for y'all. I'm pulling for the for New Orleans this week. Who that nation? Who that? Think they're gonna beat them Saints? Let's go. Who that? Let's go. But like I said, back to Mike Tomlin. Like everyone had Mike Tomlin out, right? Currently sitting at number 18 in the ESPN power ranking, 7-8 on the season, 2 games remaining, possible games they can win. I'm there. You know what I'm saying? Let's go Steelers Nation. I ain't saying I'm picking you this week, but let's go. Everyone likes a good story. At number 17, the Seattle Seahawks was clicking. They started out the season. At one point, they even led the NFC West. San Francisco was down and out. The Rams would start out down and out, but Seattle was grabbed hold of the season. It was running. Currently at number 17 in the power ranking, a 7-8 record, needing the last 2 games to even potentially be in the playoffs. We see how that goes. Number 16, the New York Jets, another 7-8 team. They had Mike White back under him. He's been cleared to practice after he had the rib injury that put Zach Wilson 2021, 2022 second round draft pick. Mike White is now going to be the starter. They have benched Zach Wilson and even made him a 3rd string, as Joe Flacco is the 2nd string at this point. So a lot of stuff going on in New York that's not too conducive. Potentially they can fall. They still play. I know they played Miami as one of their games. And I forget the other one, but they're currently number 16 on the in the power ranking. The Green Bay Packers slowly but surely creeping up. I said it. I said Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers were done without their those particular players. Christian Watson pulling up, he's having his defining moments, making it show that he could be a good wide receiver. And currently, Green Bay is in position. If they can win out, of course, they need help from some losses from other teams, but they're in a good position right now. Green Bay currently at 15. 14, the Washington Commanders. At number 13, the Detroit Lions, who still are kicking and rolling along, still having an opportunity. We'll see how they end at number 12, the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Bishop was here right now. He'll be talking about sunshine. Trevor Lawrence showing why he was the number 1 draft pick in last year's draft. Correction, not last year before. In that draft. Well, year before his draft. the draft in which Zach Wilson was taken, showing why he's that dude. You know what I'm saying? He got championships. He won a national championship. He's been there before, and he's trying to turn the way, trying to be a little Joe Burrow-esque, in my opinion, to where you got a championship and now you got to make play. What's good, Frat? What's going on, Stanley? How you doing, brother? Glad to see information this morning. But yeah, so now you have the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 12 in the ESPN power ranking. The Miami Dolphins, number 11. Hold it on, as this morning it has been reported that Tua Tagovailoa has been put into the protocol as he sustained the concussion in the first half of the Miami Dolphins game. They lost, and they said that potentially that concussion could contribute to his down spiral in that game. He was clicking. He had 191 yards, 1 touchdown, 9 or 12 passing before the concussion. After the concussion, he was what they say 13 or 17 or something like that for 91 yards and 3 interceptions. You know what, Anthony Price, while you playing, I sit up and look at that. I see Tua as a person that's in the type of family and people that he has around him are like, yo, you ain't got to do this. Like, he's sustained 2 concussions or he's been in protocol twice in the same season. Technically, it should have been 3 times because that concussion that situation that happened when they played Buffalo, although they did end up coming out victorious in that game, but it was the same thing. They probably need to power him down, and if it just so happens that Teddy Bridgewater 2 gloves can get them into the playoffs, then that's a good thing, and then maybe bring him back. But as far as the regular season, I wouldn't play him again. If I was Coach Mike McDaniels, I wouldn't play him again. We'll go ahead with Bridgewater, and then look at bringing Tua back if we get into the playoffs. As we talked about yesterday, the whole thing with McDaniels. You talked about yesterday about bringing players and if you should bring a player back. Like, I'll just put Tua on ice for a second and we'll see what happens. And I see that I meant to bring it up with initially. So of course because J.C. Horn, their top draft pick, the same year with Wilson and them 2 years ago, is injured again. So they went to bring in some reinforcements. Enter Josh Norman. Josh Norman played with the San Francisco 49ers last year. He wasn't picked up. He hasn't played a game since playing with them. He did start 14 games last year with the 49ers. Now Josh Norman picked up and brought in to play with the Carolina Panthers. So now Josh is back. Y'all know, if y'all remember the whole thing with Josh Norman and Odell Beckham Jr. got into that scuffle that got Odell Beckham suspended for a couple of games. Josh known as an antagonizer, get under people's skin. He's coming back, and he's going to continue to be seen as a presence, a veteran presence for the Carolina Panthers defense. He's not necessarily expected to start right off the rip, but they do expect him to probably get some time, depending upon it. So, interesting enough, we just talked about this. Baker Mayfield, gone. Christian McCaffrey, gone. Since they've been gone, Carolina hasn't lost. What is going on in Carolina? Keep pounding is the moniker, and that's what they're doing. I don't know. Do they get another W this week? Do they knock off Tom Brady and the possibility of them going to the playoffs and insert themselves? Like, is that what's going to go on? I don't know. We'll see. Y'all can't have CMC back though. Stop playing. Let's stand. It's above him now. It's above us now. I see. That's what I'm saying. After they making a playoff push, they trying to do a thing. Sam Darnold. All that stuff y'all talked about Sam Darnold, a USC quarterback, and Sam Darnold is the wind beneath the wings of Carolina right now. All that talk. You want to bring in PJ Walker, want to start PJ Walker, want to bring in Baker Mayfield and all that stuff. Look at you now. Matter of fact, if I was Sam, I'd be like, you know what? I'm not playing. You all know you're upset in the playoffs. We don't believe in fairy kills, bro. But continue on with the ESPN top 10 ranking, of course. The New York Giants at number 10, 8-6, looking at their opportunity, trying to punch their ticket. Currently, right now, if you look at the West and how they're configured, number one, the Eagles, number two, number two being the Minnesota Vikings, who I honestly would say surprised the hell out of me. I know at the beginning before the season even start, we used to sit up and chop it up with Eric and talk about the Eric and Zach and talk about saying the Minnesota Vikings. I really did not see this coming. For them to be a number two team, currently 3 losses on the year, number 2 seeded team for the most part, they can see it coming. You know what I'm saying? So hats off to them. Although I hope they lose and San Francisco wins and Philadelphia loses. I'm just gonna keep 100. But currently, like I said, them number 2, number 3, San Francisco at number 4. Basically, number 4, the currently Tampa Bay. But then 5, 6, and 7 all belong to the NFC East. All of them belong to the NFC East. The rest of the field being number 5, the Dallas Cowboys, number 6, the New York Giants, and number 7, the Washington Commanders. So basically, it's the champions in the NFC East that is currently the division champions in the NFC East. That's the playoffs for the NFC. Will it hold that? I don't know. It remains to be seen. Probably not. But they do have a good chance, in my opinion. As long as Washington can keep winning, then they have an opportunity. They have a chance. But of course, if Washington keep winning, that means Philadelphia has a chance to win because the Cowboys play Washington at the end of the year. Depending on where we're at and where Philly's at, we might need Washington to get that W. Number 9, before I mentioned, the Los Angeles Chargers, as they punched their ticket last night into the playoffs, 9-6 on the year, 2 games remaining. Do they go 11-6, 10-6, 9-8? We don't know. Right now, they're in the playoffs. So, Anthony, I think y'all might get one of those two. I see Seattle potentially losing games, but the Lions might be able to right their ship. I honestly wouldn't want to see Detroit in the playoffs right now. I'll just be honest. Detroit is a team I wouldn't want to see at all. At number 8 in the ESPN rankings, the Baltimore Ravens come in at number 8. Lamar Jackson still injured, still out. So Huntley should get the start once again. The Minnesota Vikings at number 7, 12-3 team, leading their division. Well, clinched their division already. They just keep on finding a way to win. I don't know if that's going to be a sustainable product in the playoffs, but it is currently what they got going on. They may or may not continue. Oh, looky here. Just in time to see what ends up happening when I get to the top of this league. How you doing this, brother? What's going on?
What's going on, WGO? What's good, Trey? My apologies for being tardy, man. I had a situation this morning, so I'm just not getting it resolved.
You good, man?
Yeah, I'm straight. I'm good. I'm straight.
You know what? Seeing you just brings up. I just got a trigger, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just got triggered because on one hand, first and foremost, on either hand, both hands, I like to say, you made a comeback when it came to this fantasy football stuff. You made a comeback. You, whatever the talking was, you did, however, do 3 out of, 3 in 3 leagues. You wasn't 2, in Ron's in them league.
But remember, that's the league I wasn't able to draft in. That's the league again. That was this year. That was the one league that I wasn't able to officially draft in. Like I was having technical difficulties again.
You came in on the back end, correct?
Right.
You drafted the last part of your sleeper.com is a pretty good format too.
Yeah, I think I came in on like the 8th round or something like that. I think somewhere around there.
But in any case, that that was one. But in the other 2, I thought I had you. I thought I had you in ours, but it was unfortunate. I didn't get it. So of course you will face off against Coach Paris in the first formation fantasy football league
Let's go.
championship. You and
Let's
Coach
go.
Paris gonna be faces off in there. I just knew I was gonna be a smaller seed to get in, but you know what I'm saying, we can't win them all. And you know what I'm saying, I'm fine with that. And then we talked about it. We knew it was gonna happen. Austin Eckler was gonna do damage. Austin Eckler is going to do damage, in which I was just talking to your LB earlier this morning. He's on. I don't know if he's still on, because he actually was the reason why I didn't get the number 2 seed, and I had to play New York, in which New York knocked me out last round. But when you look at how it ended up shaping up, I probably wouldn't have beat ISO, because ISO in his first year in our fraternity league, with the first year in the fraternity, first year in our fantasy football league, gets. See, look at your LB.
My bad. Yeah. He
set up and took care of it. But actually, it was my bad because I put the wrong people in. So, but you know what I'm saying? Because if I had played the right players, it was nothing he could have done. It's nothing possible he could have done, even if he had played the right players. But he set up and knocked me out. But you know what I'm saying? I was set up and do this, right? I have a confession. I have a confession to make, right?
Okay.
I called your LB one day. Yeah, I got you after third place. I can at least get third place. I have a confession to make, right?
Mm-hmm.
In our fraternity league, I called your LB.
Which one?
Reminded him.
Hypnos?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna do that for her. No. But I called your LB and reminded him that he needed players. Because he had blank players, he's getting ready to play you, and I was like, it was at the point when I was like number 2. I was like,
sounds like you was desperate.
I was. I was like, hey, man, go ahead and don't you need? I was like, you got tight end, you need a tight end.
This dude here, see what I'm talking about? See y'all see this? See, they in cahoots. I was like,
you need a tight end, man. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't. I was like, you need a tight end. Don't let him do it. He's like, dang, you want me to be? He's like, you want me to be Zanos for real? I was like, nah, it's not like that. But I was like, we don't want to make it easy. We don't want to make it easy for him. You know what I'm saying? And that was he went on like a 4 or 5 game win streak.
He did.
You know what I'm saying?
He did.
I was looking, you know what?
It was cahoots, bro.
It was like one of those things where you sit up and you're sitting at the top and you like you're not worried about nobody. But I was just looking at him coming. I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, what is he like? Who's going to beat this dude? And then he gets to me and knocked me off too. Yeah, see, he needed help. He needed help, man. It was his first year.
No. You learn.
And you know what's even funnier? You know what's even funnier?
What's up?
When he came to me, he needed somebody. I was like, I ain't finna make that call. You better figure it out.
I see how he do you. See, he's dirty.
I was like, you better figure it out. You gotta learn.
How he did you? He did.
He learned. He had learned from yours because he set up. He figured it out. He came back. I was like, damn it! I was watching the whole week. I was like, he ain't gonna get nobody anytime. And I set up and refreshed it. It was there. I was like, son of a gun.
You see that, LB? You see what he do? What up?
Look, here go this dude. Look at this dude. We ain't seen him as many Sundays. Look at he in the championship now. He wants beat you. Yeah, he ain't beat me. He beat New York, but he in the championship. Him and Herc in the championship.
I don't.
You know what?
Herc got out on the skin of his teeth, bro.
No, bro. No, not only that, but also it was some suspect trades that happened.
Oh, Herc already told me. He made some trades with people who wasn't in the in the race no more. He made trades. See, that's the thing. Yeah. I didn't go
that part. Like I might have said I didn't post no. Yeah, I didn't go post nobody.
Yeah,
I didn't do none of that. Like if I sit up, I made some trades that probably some people would have seen as being suspect, but no, legitly, I gave up some good players for a player that I feel like I needed that no one else might. So it's like, but you know what? It's good because if any case you don't know how the players are, so you know, what I'm saying, it's all good. I'm not worried about it, but I understand. Yeah, that's just what it is. But you know, what I'm saying, shout out to ISO.
It's one person I want to really raise and find out who one guy that I really didn't hear too much from that was like all mouth before the season and hadn't heard nothing.
Absolute.
That dude, that guy. What like this dude was like nowhere to be found, bro.
He's in the consolidation round.
That's about it. But he was talking all that trash. Dude, where you at now? Where is he at now? Why he can't be found? Why he hasn't been heard from? CNN too.
I try to make a.
Anthony said Ron was talking a lot. Where's Ron? He was talking a lot too.
Ron is actually he plays. I know in his league, Ron plays 6th place, I think. And in our league, he's I think he's 6th or 5th place in our league.
Mm-hmm. Golly, bro. I knew. I knew.
I just knew Eckler. Yeah, you knew he was gonna get his. It was, and you know what? I'm kind of torn. Like, do you want the rookie to get his first win as he comes in, or do I want
who you talking about? Oh,
ISO. It's like, do I want to keep it to where technically, if Herc wins, then I think myself and Herc. No, actually, is myself and Herc are the only winners of our fraternity fantasy games. Or I think did Plug win the first one?
I thought Plug won one.
Okay, so Plug won the first one, Herc won the second one. Plug won the first one. I won the second one.
And this is the third.
Yeah, so actually Herc doesn't have one. So no matter what, someone's going to be
Herc first. Yeah.
If he beats ISO, I don't know. ISO might.
Ain't no who that nation coming to none. Told y'all I'm cold at you. ISO,
lucked up.
You did luck up. Don't get it twisted. You not that dude. He got help from you, so this season don't count. No, I guess he talking about. Yeah.
I mean, he know now. So, like I said,
now ain't no help next year. It is what it is.
I felt so dirty when I did it too. I was
you should. So helping ass.
You
should feel dirty for that. Dirty ass. That was dirty.
I felt filthy. I was like,
you should have felt dirty for that because you know you weren't supposed to help that dude.
I looked. I was like, don't do that. I was like, that's what you don't do.
Yeah, he went against all fantasy football rules and regulations, bro. He went against all fantasy football rules and regulations. Speaking of which,
I take a shower.
How did we fare in picks this week?
Let me see. Actually, did I write it down? Because I didn't bring my the actual. So
you back home or no?
No, I haven't made it home yet. I think I'm gonna get ready to go home now.
Oh yeah. Oh, y'all didn't leave yesterday?
No, he did, but he had to come to New Orleans, and then come to find out.
Y'all was in Houston. That's right.
Yeah, it got canceled. The thing got canceled in New Orleans. The flights got canceled. So, I think you and Ron tied at 10-5 for this week, and I was 9-6.
Okay.
So finished out this of the ESPN's top the power rankings. Like I said, Minnesota was at number 7, at number 6, the Cincinnati Bengals. Getting into the top 5, the Dallas Cowboys. Number 4, the San Francisco 49ers. At number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Number 2, the Philadelphia Eagles. So with that loss this week, Philadelphia Eagles fall to number 2 in the power rankings, and number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs, of course.
Yeah.
On the opposite side of the spectrum, when you look at it for the NFL one, I don't know if it's the same. The number 32, the Denver Broncos. Unfortunate for Coach Hackett. Number 31, the Indianapolis Colts. At number 30, Arizona Cardinals. Number 29, the Chicago Bulls. Number 28, the Atlanta Falcons. Houston at number 27. Number 26, the Cleveland Browns. 25, the Los Angeles Rams. 24, the Tennessee Titans. At 23, the New Orleans Saints. At 22, the Seattle Seahawks. At 21, the Las Vegas Raiders. At 20, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 19, the Carolina Panthers. 18, the New England Patriots. At number 17, the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Washington Commanders at number 16 at the halfway mark. 15, the New York Jets. The New York Giants at number 14. At number 13, the Miami Dolphins still holding on in the top 15. Number 12, the Green Bay Packers creeping on the come up. At number 11, the Detroit Lions, just one outside the top 10. Interesting. The Baltimore Ravens at number 10. The Jaguars, Jacksonville Jaguars in the top 9 in the power ranking for the NFL. At number 8, the Los Angeles Chargers with last night's victory. The Minnesota Vikings at number 7. At number 6, the Dallas Cowboys. Number 5, the Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be interesting. At number 4, the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay. At number 3, the Buffalo Bills. Let's go.
I already know what it is. If you clapping that hard, I already know what number.
I don't know, but I'm just figuring.
Let's go.
And number 2,
what was
the
3?
Philadelphia Eagles, and number 1, the San Francisco 49ers. Why not?
How?
We're on an 8-game winning streak,
and we was on a 12, and we never made it to number 1. We was on a 10-game winning streak and never made it to number 1. What your point?
The dynamics are different.
No,
look at it, and this is just because we're
that's
number
that,
1.
That's
number
that
3 is
BS
Buffalo.
right there. That's that BS. I be talking
How
about
is it
right
BS?
There. Because we was on. You talking about we on an 8-game? We was on a 10-game winning streak, and then we lost, and we still didn't make one.
The dynamic is different.
What's the different dynamic? I'm listening.
The dynamic is different.
Y'all
started out 10-0. Y'all was just running 10-0. Y'all
which should have put us at number 1.
Was what, 11? Well, no, y'all was 9-0. I think y'all reached it at 10-0. No,
we was
10-0,
and we lost our first game. We went 10-1. That's how.
And then y'all got it after the 10-1.
Yes, after the 10-1. There was no way how we go 10-0 and we never make the power ranking. We stay at 2-3. We never make it. Then we take a loss. The following week we win again. Then we make it to 1. But y'all go on an 8-game winning streak and y'all jump to number 1 all of us. Get out of here.
Again, look at how we've done it. Y'all have had y'all starting quarterback the whole year, right? We've been through 3 starting quarterbacks.
Which means more reason on why y'all shouldn't be at number 1.
That is all the reason why we should be at number 1.
How?
Because we have been through adversities and yet we are here. We stand.
Oh my God. Really? That's what we going with?
Get the number 1 seed in the NFC after y'all have been running with y'all have been carrying the number 1 seed like this the whole year.
We've been carrying it, but we won power ranked in it though. That's my whole issue.
So that's y'all been carrying the number 1 seed like this the whole time. Now here comes Dallas, San Francisco, and Minnesota. Well, technically Minnesota can't get it. Dallas and San Francisco is trying to peanut punch it out. And that's what's going on. We peanut punching. And
hold on, but this is my thing. How do y'all get in over KC? Because KC doing exactly the same thing y'all doing.
No, KC is not.
Why they not?
What other team besides the San Francisco 49 currently has a 3rd-string quarterback winning game?
It ain't about. See, that's the thing. Just because you got a 3rd-string quarter, who did y'all beat this weekend? Y'all act like y'all. Hold on, y'all beat not even a formidable foe. Y'all beat the Raiders, bro. Y'all beat a losing team.
We played Raiders this week. We beat the Commanders, who are currently been in the playoffs.
Last place in the NFC East.
But they're in the playoffs.
Only because the rest of the conferences is trash, ain't playing no ball. That's the only reason. I mean, they beat us. Don't get me wrong. The Washington Commanders beat us.
They did. And the Cowboys.
They gave us our first L, but we beat both of them. So it ain't like
I said y'all was gonna split. Yeah. All I need New Orleans to get the W this weekend.
Thank you, thank you, Nathan. I feel the same way.
I need New Orleans to get the W this weekend, and I need my prediction of y'all splitting y'all games in y'all conference to happen.
That's not gonna happen.
And we went out.
That's not gonna
happen. And we should get the number 1 seed.
No, hell no. We not losing both of these games. We winning one of these games. Preferably the next one against the Saints, but we winning one of these games. We not losing both. Not gonna happen.
Thank you, Nathan.
Don't agree with that list. How you? All right. So how in the world is the 49ers above Philly, as well as
Because the
Kansas City,
adversity that
man.
they've gone through.
There is no adversity, bro.
That's plenty of adversity.
That is not. That is
We
not.
have the number
So
one.
let me
We
say,
have the number
I'm
one
not saying
ranked
it's not
defense.
adversity, but I'm gonna say this: it's not a legitimate reason for y'all to be one. That's what I say. That's not a legitimate reason for y'all to be one.
So
If
you're
y'all
saying
have
because
done
y'all
that,
13
if y'all
and
have
2.
done that with the team, with some teams, some formidable teams, then that'd have been different. But y'all ain't do that against no formidable teams.
Get out! No need to correct.
Oh, you talking about the MVP? Oh, thank you. Oh, okay, you talking about the MVP
It's-
list? Okay, you weren't
Nathan,
talking about that nonsense trade we talking about. Thank you.
It's above you now. It's above you now.
I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you very clarifying that for us. There, Nathan. I thank you so much. Yeah,
We have gone. The 49ers have gone through adversity.
Eagles have easy road to the Super Bowl. I'm a Rams fan, by the way. I mean, we may have an easy road to the Super Bowl. We may have had an easy road to the playoffs. You may mean it's not an easy road to the Super Bowl because that means all the best teams are playing in the playoffs to make it to the Super Bowl.
No, because if it, so, you know what? You're right. Because I'm about to say right now.
What? Right now, what?
Right now, y'all need that bye.
We do. I said that yesterday.
I'd rather be a team that doesn't have a bye going in.
I firmly believe we need that bye, especially with what's going on with Jalen. I firmly believe we need that bye. We do, because we need Jalen to be fully healthy when it comes down for playing time for playoffs and possible Super Bowl run. I do. I totally agree. We do need that. We do need that without question.
I don't know. So, but
I mean, man, shout out to y'all for getting the first spot. Y'all got who this week coming up? The Raiders? Oh, y'all. Well, no, we should jump back up
this weekend. We got
should jump back up in number one power rankings after this win over the Saints. We should jump back.
Y'all might not win though.
That's what you say. Philly needs Hurts bad. Defense kind of suspect. They gave up too much. Yeah, we lost. We lost Vontae Maddox. He's out for the rest of the season. Foot injury. He's done. Toe injury. He's done for the rest of the season. So we're not finna get Avonte back. So that's crucial.
Like CJ Gardner's out too, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we need.
Y'all got to slay in. What's his name?
Mm-hmm. Bradbury and all of them. Yeah. So we definitely need Jalen to come on back. Like I said yesterday, I'll continue to say this leading up to this weekend. Play Jalen this weekend, rest him weeks last week.
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Solidify the bye week. Give us home field advantage, solidify that, and we good. San Francisco struggles versus mobile QBs. Lost to Denver, Atlanta, and Bears, all mobile QBs. Ooh, somebody been doing their homework. I see you, Shay. I see you. Great point.
Philadelphia is not going to be there. We're not playing Philly.
Who y'all gonna play?
I don't know. Whoever y'all lose to.
We ain't finna lose nobody. Who we gonna lose to? So let me ask you a better question. Who we losing to? Who you think we losing to?
Dallas.
In the playoffs?
Yep.
No, sir. That's I am praying to the football gods that we play Dallas again. When we got Jalen versus Dak. I pray to the football gods we play Dallas again. When we have Jalen versus Dak, won't be the same outcome. Won't be the same. You shouldn't need Hurts against the Saints. We shouldn't, but I want to solidify the bye. That's the only reason why, AP. I want to go ahead and solidify our bye. We need one win. We shouldn't need them. We shouldn't, but I'm not confident in Gardner Minshew. He just doesn't do it for me, bro. He just doesn't do it for me. He doesn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. We had 4 turnovers and we still almost won that game. Still, but I can't rock with Gardner Minshew, man. I can't rock with Gardner Minshew.
I wonder, is that a interpretation on that we talked about it briefly yesterday? Is that a bad look for Dallas?
What? It is.
Backup had 4 turnovers.
Yeah, that's a bad look. Even CC said that yesterday. Yeah, that's a bad look. How our backup come in, Dallas won't win in Philly. I miss you 3 turnovers, lost that. He did, absolutely, Shay, without question. Him and Miles Sanders cost us that game. But yeah, Dallas. There's no way we should have been in that game with Minshew in the helm. There's no way we should have been. We should have. That game should have even been close, bro. I'm gonna be completely honest. That game shouldn't even been that close. Dallas should have ran away with that game, but they
As we
didn't.
all thought.
Which a lot of I didn't think it, but yeah, a lot of people thought it. Well, I'll say I felt like they should have. Yeah, I did feel like they should have ran away. He's a good backup, but y'all need Hurts against the good teams. Yep, he's an okay backup, man. He's not a Foles. He's not a Nick.
Well,
in my
the
opinion.
old foes, because the foes
Right.
we saw last night.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah.
the foes
He's
we
not.
saw-
He's not a Nick. He's not. He's not the Super Bowl Nick, but he. You know, we'll see.
So I ask you this question. It's almost similar to like we just talking about now. Was Daniel Hackett the reason for the Broncos being who they are now, or was it Russell Wilson? Like it's like they're making Daniel Hackett the scapegoat for their season.
I think it's a little bit of both. Russell Wilson definitely. I didn't see Russell Wilson being a key or a missing piece for Denver. I did not. Both Wilson got exposed. Absolute facts. I didn't see Wilson being the answer for Denver's issues and problems. I didn't. When they made that trade, I was like, I don't know about that one. I said that on the show. I didn't see any upside to that, and it's showing. It's truly showing. I didn't see no upside.
So I don't know. I just think like Hackett might have been. I think he's a scapegoat for it. Like they fired. You know why they fired him? In my opinion, because so before the Hackett situation came out, I seen where someone was like your man Sean Payton was building a coaching staff. I'm like, why is Sean Payton building a coaching staff? Who is he getting ready to take over? And then a couple of hours later, Daniel Hackett is fired. So I wonder.
Are you assuming that Sean Payton might be going to Denver?
I wonder is Sean Payton being well, of course he can't just go because they have to go through that would be completely arbitrary to the how they do things because they have to let candidates interview, i.e., some of them have to be African American or minority women or men or other races have to have an opportunity to interview for the position as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would hope that they're not just going with that, but I wonder is that a potential? Like, could we see Sean Payton in Denver? And if Sean Payton's in Denver, how would a Sean Payton and Russell Wilson connection go?
I don't think Sean Payton should go to the Bears or the Chargers. I personally don't think Russell will be there I don't know if Russell will be there next year. So.
Oh, he gonna be there. They paying that man too much money for him not to be there. He just signed that contract extension. But then again, I mean, we don't know. Sometimes people be like, "Oh, no, forget the money. I'll make it on the back end."
That part.
Where you say Sean Payton, Bears or Chargers? Oh no, the Chargers are good. They just got in. They're not finna get nobody.
Who? What? As far as coaching?
Yeah, Sean Payton. Yeah. And anyway, he has to interview. Like I think the only place Sean Payton would be, it would even be potentially, of course, as we know it now, Denver. I'm thinking Kingsbury is going to be fired after
Cliff Kingsbury
this season. Yeah, so maybe Arizona. What else? Where else might need a coach? Anywhere else on the bottom that don't have a coach? I think Pete Carroll's safe. I think all the NFC is safe.
Pete Carroll probably safe. Yeah.
Who else? Philadelphia, probably safe. The ball just got
Yeah,
there. I mean, not the
yeah,
ball. New
we
York.
yeah,
Yeah, everyone in y'all division safe. Rivera, you think Rivera's safe? I think so.
yeah. Rivera's probably good. Yeah, I don't see him being
Yeah, so everyone's probably safe except for the like you said, except for well, Wilkes, he might not be safe. They might go ahead and do or Indianapolis, so they're going to need a new coach. Carolina may need a new coach. Denver's going to need a new coach. I think Arizona's going to need a new coach. So that's 4 teams out there that could be need new coaches.
Oh, you think Cliff Kingsbury's gone?
Oh yeah, I think they're going to get rid of him. Yeah, I think Cliff Kingsbury is gone. In which you might have Leftwich might get an opportunity. BNB might get an opportunity. They got to be able to interview. I don't know if Coach
deserves an opportunity.
I don't know if Coach Brian Flores, if he'll go out and interview again, or if he'll stay in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be somebody. I think Leftwich probably gets opportunity in there possibly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know out of those 4 teams would it be ideal for him. Maybe Arizona with a mobile quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Kyler Murray. I wouldn't necessarily consider Russell Wilson a mobile quarterback anymore.
Nah, I think it's safe to say his time is limited. I think he's pretty much on his back end. In my opinion,
need a quarterback in Indianapolis now.
Oh, you think what's it called done? You think right?
Oh, Matt Ryan,
Matty Ice is done.
Well,
done?
you know what, it might be different because if they bring in a quarterback, they might figure they can make some stuff happen with Matty Ice or whoever the coordinator that comes in. So, but Matty Ice is probably done. I don't know. I wonder is Matty Ice a Hall of Famer? What's his numbers? Is Matty Ice a Hall of Famer?
You think a Hall of Famer? You think he's a Hall of Famer?
No, I'm asking. I don't know.
I don't know if his numbers are that strong to be considered a Hall of Famer.
He got some strong numbers. I just don't know if they're.
He's been in the league, what, 17 years, 15 years, something like that? 15, 16 years?
Matt Ryan. I think
he's been in the league for a minute.
Oh, yeah. He got some strong numbers. 62,000 passing yards.
Oh.
381 touchdowns. He said he's a Hall of Famer for giving up leads. A Super Bowl appearance, an MVP. Yeah, he's probably
he ain't got but one parent. He only got one appearance in the Super Bowl though, don't he? He only got one appearance.
1-time All-Pro, 4-time Pro Bowl, 1-time All-Pro, league MVP. He might be a Hall of Famer. Maybe not first ballot, but he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he's good. I think he gets in. I think he's going to make it to the HOF. So but the reason I was saying that is like, does he sit down? Like, is it time to sit down? Like, chill, just go into a backup role.
Oh,
or retire.
Who are you talking about? Matty Ice?
Yeah, Matty Ice. Yeah,
a backup. Ooh, excuse me, a backup role like what? You talking about like a quarterback coach or something?
A backup quarterback. Yeah. Like it was just when he becomes a clipboard holder and kind of like helping.
Mentor.
And like help him out, mentoring and with the, but just saying like, okay, I can get it, I can play if I need to be, but I'm just going to hold the clipboard to play out the rest of this contract. But I'm done. Like that might be a Super Bowl for him because if he's been Atlanta and Indianapolis, and you don't want to see, especially for those type of quarterbacks, you don't want to see them start bouncing around. Well, at least I wouldn't.
Right.
I mean, everyone can't do what Kurt Warner did.
That's facts. That's straight facts. I cannot lie about that part. He did his thing.
Earlier, we were talking about. I was rather impressed by looking and seeing that the Brooklyn Nets. He wasn't here for that. The Brooklyn Nets are
Or what I said they was gonna be, sir. Exactly what I said.
No. See.
Did I not say when all three of them get on the court, they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with? When all three, I said that
honestly,
last year. Before I said that last year when they picked up Ben and got rid of Harden, but Ben never hit the floor. And then the things that went wrong with Kyrie, and it affected KD.
Honestly, I think it has to do with Jacques Vaughn.
The coach?
Yeah. I think
I mean, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I feel like Nash being gone has definitely put some a spark in the team. I can agree to that too. But a lot of it also is, like I said, I truly believe it's the players. I mean, when all three of them on the court, I watched that game last night, bro. Don't get me wrong, Donovan Mitchell and them did their thing, but it came up short, bro.
Donovan, yeah,
it came up short. And what's the old boy name? What's that other cat from Cleveland? What's that other kid?
Darius Garland.
Garland, that joker there was unstoppable last night, bro. I was like, who is this kid? He was unstoppable. I was like, man, he was giving us fits. I ain't gonna front. He was straight giving the Nets fits. I was like, bro, they gotta do something with this dude. He's running amok. He's running a complete muck.
JJ Watt thinking about retiring after the season.
I expect
that. If you had went professional, in your mind, what is the ideal time that you're hanging them up?
So that's hard to say because injuries play a huge part in that. Mm-hmm. They play a huge part. So a lot of times, like you spoke about yesterday in regards to Matthew Stafford, when it comes to injuries, that dictates for how long you will be in the league and stuff like that. So, but I would want
to go off the injuries that you had during your time. When would you think you would hang them up?
I would have probably tried to make it to 20-year mark. I think, years. But then again, it's not only about injuries too. It's about your bankroll too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you invested your money well when you was getting those pay raises?
Have you been getting? Have you been getting checks? Well, you figure you've been getting checks if you've been 20 years. I mean, you ain't been sitting around 20 years as a journeyman.
That part, but you've been, you know what I'm saying? Have you put your money in a place to where it'll be substantial enough to hold you over to when you choose to retire? Because I do feel like some people, like we know Tom Brady just playing to be playing because he loves the sport. He don't have to continue to play because he definitely done made his money. And also Anthony Price totally agree does depend on position as well. That has a great deal of, like, kickers, they can play until they 45, 50. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't doing nothing but kicking balls. If you invested your money right and you did what you was supposed to do, you could retire at a good age. The thing is, this is the ultimate question. Y'all, excuse me for y'all. I've been up early, man. Like I said, I had a lot going on this morning. But anyway, when you this is the thing, right? A lot of people, I hear a lot of people say, "Man, what do you do, Bishop? What do you do?" I tell them, I don't do shit. I'm retired. They like, you don't work? What part of retired don't you get? So I feel like when you retire, it's called retirement for a reason. That means you're done doing what it is you was doing prior to or before, or what has gotten you to that point. Now, don't get me wrong.
You're retired.
Right. Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's people, my grandfather, he retired. However, he worked all the way up to his, almost to his dying day. He didn't work all the way up, but he close to, you know what I'm saying? My dad retired. He did 35 years, I want to say, at the post office. He's still working to this day. My dad is 70-something years old. He's still working to this day. Does he have to? No. But some people just choose to do those type of things. So when it comes to professional sports, money plays a part. Where you are financially, position on what position you play, what sports you play,
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature, because we know some sports, baseball and stuff like that, pay substantially amount more than football does, and things of that. So it's a lot of variables that play a part in your retirement and when you choose to retire. Tiger Woods, he's still swinging that golf club. He hasn't officially retired yet. Excuse me. There's just people that do that. And then you got those people like Michael Jordan who retired from basketball but goes try and play baseball, and then leaves baseball and plays tennis or golf as a hobby. So it's to each individual zone, on what their plan is, um, and what they see them, how they see themselves. I think that question that always comes up or arises by people is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, 10 years, or whatever? It's hard. That is a very difficult question to answer because things change every day on a daily basis. So you may see yourself at a certain spot on Monday in 5 years, but on Tuesday or Wednesday or maybe even Thursday, that could completely change to something else. You know what I'm saying? Because of
Mhm.
how things transpire throughout the days, throughout the hours, throughout the minutes, throughout the seconds. So I don't know. But I personally feel like you asked if I was going off my injury. Thank God I've never had any major injuries. Like, thank God I never, I'm knock on wood, I never had I've never had any knee surgeries. Never.
Mhm.
Never had any knee surgery. You got some athletes having knee surgeries before they get out of high school. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I have never had any knee surgeries, things like that. Have I had broken bones? Yes. My biggest, I think my most major injury, I think, in playing football was probably rolling my ankle. I never broke it, but I have rolled it bad enough to where it was felt like it was broke, and it was so close to being broken, in my opinion. But I've never, by doctors, I've been seen by physicians. They always said they've never said it was broken. I've had some very severe sprains, high ankle sprains, low ankle sprains, all of that. I've had some very serious high sprains, but none broken. But that's probably the worst injury outside of probably you know what, them ankle rolls and them hamstrings run neck and neck, bro. They run neck and neck. Ankle injuries are more easier to recover from, or ankle rolls are more easy to come to recover from than hamstring pulls, in my opinion.
What do you think would be it, would you is there a point in which you like, you know what, I'm done, like as you start regressing so you don't hurt your legacy, or
Mhm.
do you just roll till the wheels fall off and it's like it's just clear and concise, like, yo, I ain't got it anymore and now people ain't picking up? Do you let them dictate or do you dictate when you're done?
If I was in the league, I think it would be a little bit of both. So I would probably listen
Okay.
to what the physicians would have to say and
Hmm.
get their input on where pulling the hamstring and getting out of bed. You know what I'm
Getting out of
saying, AP?
bed.
You feel me? I would listen to physicians and get their input and what they suggest. However, I would also listen to my body and to see what my body
Mhm.
is telling me. You know what I'm saying? Like you say, as you know, as we get older, those recoveries every week from taking hits after hit after hit after hit begin to take longer and longer and longer to recover from. From when you young, you take them hits on a Saturday or Sunday. By Monday, Tuesday, you good. Trey with the fresh cut. Oh yeah, Trey stays fresh to death, bro. By Monday or Tuesday, you good when you young, when you in your 20s. By Monday, Tuesday, that soreness is gone. You straight, you good. When you get in your Thursday, that it goes from Monday and Tuesday to Wednesday and Thursday. When you get to the 40s, it goes from Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday to what month is this? To
It's December.
no, I'm saying that's what you saying
Oh,
to
it's over.
yourself.
Oh, yeah,
How
yeah, yeah.
long
That's
how long much longer am I about to be in pain? What month is it? We about to do it in a minute. Hmm. Yep. So yeah, that part, man, it's like you'd be like, golly, bro. So yeah, I would definitely listen to what the physicians have to say, but I would also listen to my body because your body can tell you better than a physician can tell you.
Yeah, that's
But I would try and roll until the wheels fall off. I would.
Oh, you trying to go with the?
I would try to. I would try to. I mean, when my body say, "All right, now look, you're doing too much." As someone who's had 4 concussions, my man Bishop is preaching that good preach, brother. You need to know that part. Damn, Mike, 4. Ooh, brother.
Either that's like that. See, that's why 2 need to sit down. 3, you're like, bruh. I remember
I never had
stars.
it, and that's another thing.
You ever seen stars when being hit or doing it?
No,
you ever seen
now
stars?
I've got the wind knocked out of me. I've got the wind knocked out.
Stars.
I've got the wind knocked out of me a couple of times, but I've never had a concussion, and I've never seen the stars thing. I have gotten the wind knocked out of me.
Stars, and now you know, saying hindsight, you know, saying you realize like it was a concussion, but I seen stars.
Y'all see that hit yesterday? Oh boy, got kicked out.
That man, that was
It shouldn't have been. He shouldn't have got kicked out because he hit him in his shoulder. But he did leave.
But they said he led with the crown. Yeah,
he did leave with his helmet. He did. I've given up more than I've gotten. I feel you, Mike. That's how you're supposed to do it, though. That's how you're supposed to do it, Mike. I feel you. Yeah, I've never had a concussion. However, when I was playing overseas, I did see one of my teammates get one, and he was. When I say, you could tell, he was on the sideline. He was dazed. And not only was he dazed, he was throwing up on the sideline and everything. Yeah, he was concussed for real. I was like, good Lord. So yeah, I've seen it happen.
Do you think?
But no, I've never had one.
Do you think? This is going to be a question to take us out. Do you think that people, regardless of football, basketball, baseball, however, do you think players diminish their legacy or what they've done when they aren't playing anymore professionally in the top league, and they go down to like in the NFL, it'd be the USFL or the SFL,
Arena League or something. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Arena League, or in an NBA going down to the G League or one of the other leagues, or or baseball going to the farm
leagues. Yeah.
Do you think that diminishes your stature or legacy, or do you think that's just a setback for a comeback?
How many people have we seen come back from that though? That league major goes down minor.
So I think Lance Stevenson in NBA, he did it for a short time. Kurt Warner.
Did Kurt Warner make it in the NFL and then went down and then went back?
He started in the he made it to the NFL.
I thought
he started in the NFL. He came to the NFL from the USFL. He came to the NFL. He didn't do too well, and he went down to the Arena League.
Okay.
Made his bones in the real league.
Mm-hmm.
And then got to look back up in the NFL. That's where, and then of course Hall of Fame.
I feel like so.
In
other words,
when you take a chance.
I mean,
T.O. tried it.
So did Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel's done it.
CFL, yeah.
Some people have done it. If you can make it back, that's a huge accomplishment. To go and be humble enough to go down there, humble yourself, play well, and then try and then eventually make it back into the league, then that's it's like it's Warner played for the Packers before. Really. Oh, okay, got you. So it's possible. Calvin Johnson is the biggest. What if he didn't have facts? And not only him, but old boy too. What's the quarterback? You talked about him yesterday, Trey, that left early because of concussions.
Andrew Luck.
Yes, Andrew Luck.
Yeah, he might be a monster right now.
Had he not, right? Andrew Luck was on the rise, bro. Before he had too many concussions, and the doc advised him not to probably. If he had one more, it could be real detrimental. Doug Flutie was he was in the. Doug Flutie went to the Arena League or something.
He went to USFL, I think.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
More like Andrew Over, because that man had 0 seconds to throw that part. No, Andrew Luck didn't. No, it wasn't Andrew Luck messed his neck up. That was Peyton. Peyton
That's
messed
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning messed
And that
his
was
neck up.
in the hints. That's why I said Matthew Stafford probably still has a chance if he is anything like Peyton Manning. But yeah, Andrew Luck, he didn't have it. Andrew Luck do a whole lot with less. So imagine if he was in behind.
Boy,
Yeah, Andrew Luck probably would have been a monster.
Yeah, but Andrew Luck was balling before he had to lead a game. He was on his way. He was on his way. But yeah, I feel like you could possibly do it, Trey. But that's a huge feat, and not, it's a handful of people that's done it.
Mm-hmm.
A handful. Oh yeah, Alex Smith. Yeah, but that was an injury. That was almost took his life. Yeah, that almost took his life. Yeah, he almost lost his life over his injury, and his leg. He almost lost his life as well as almost lost his leg in his injury because of his injury. So, yeah.
So in case that's where we're at today, greatly appreciate y'all rocking with us today. Of course, things happening. Bishop tapped in when he was able to. We definitely greatly appreciate y'all walking in. Mike, seeing you in a long time, bro.
No, Mike, man, it's good seeing you, bro. For real, seeing you on.
All right, so we mentioned you and you pull up like the Candy Man, or of course our regular ones.
I ain't seen him all fantasy season. Now
so he in the championship. He wanted to pop up.
Yeah.
Shay, good looking out, bro. Coming on, Kneef, Anthony. I didn't get a chance to see who Facebook user was. Tawan,
we don't know who that was.
Stanton, all y'all greatly pushing y'all through. Mike, appreciate y'all pulling up. Y'all know where to find us every. Be here tomorrow, Wednesday, 09 11. That's like you said, hump day. Getting ready for the new year.
Last week of this year. Last week of 2022. Right here, baby.
So, of course, y'all continue to enjoy y'all week, graces and everything and blessings as we get up out of here. Any last word, Bishop?
No, man, I appreciate y'all, man. We love y'all. We thank y'all, man. Have a great end of 2022, man. Enjoy your week. Be safe. Have fun. Love on one another. And have a blessed Tuesday, man. We're going to see y'all on the next one. Cyro 5 Military Fraternity Incorporated. Y'all have a great day. We out. Peace.